Shalom. Peace be to the elect of the nation of Israel, which the elect of the nation of Israel consists of 144,000 Hanabayayim, the prophets, which are all men, of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, and of course, the rest of the innumerable multitude, the 1/3, which are not prophets, but they will be believers in the words of the Lord and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. So I say Shalom. Wa call Allah Yamlah, Allahayna wa Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadosh. All praises to our power. Yahweh is the true, almighty, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. And His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, the world even calls Jesus Christ, Ba'ashem, meaning the name, Rechad, meaning spirit, Kodash is holy, which are uttered in the Paleo Hebrew, the language that has been returned back onto the Hebrew Israelites these times. Of course, Shalom, of course, to the Israelite foreigners who, of course, may look like the rest of the nations, sticking out as a speckled bird, but are, of course, Israelites, going back to ever 12 tribes. This isn't something that's based upon how you look. It's, of course, determined all to the spirit. Though, of course, appearance can play a factor, but, this is all determined to the spirit, since the Israelites were scattered across the four winds. Slovakia. So, of course, double honor said that was apostles at Great Millstone. Well, peace and salutations, of course, always to the elect. Of course, I'm the brother of Mafpa from Great Millstone Plains Tables Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia. Just coming again with another lesson of the Chakodash, which you have to excuse my voice. going through a wee bit of a infirmity or sickness, or just felt unwell, but it still requires to do the work. Just Satan, of course. And so it says here, Doorstep acid attack, mum targeted in a second or assault by thugs who rammed her car with truck. We notice thugs. This goes way back. I believe Alcat brought this out. We go into the etymon. You put the thug in. Actually go back to Elam or Ayalam, so-called East Indians, which the thug from the 1810 is a member of a gang of murderers and robbers in India who strangled their victims from it has Marid Sai Thag Tech cheat, a swindler. So you have that cheat, a swindler, cunning, fraudulent. Thugs roam about the country in bands of 10 to 100, usually in the disguise of as peddlers and are pilgrims, gaining the confidence of other travelers who they strangled where or when the favorable opportunity presented itself. Alright, so this actually, you calling yourself a thug is a negative thing. Isn't it a good thing at all? It's wicked. Because when you even go back to it, it goes back to, I believe, a heathen god of Mawath, or death. It says the motive of thugs was not much lust of plunder as a certain religious fanaticism, which, I'm going to this word for fanaticism. It means the quality of being fanatical. I'll have to look into this some more on the etymon. Let me see, I'm going to look. We'll get it right now. So if you're a fanatic, you're an insane person. Mod. Basically, loony. Enthusiastic, inspired by a god. Now, this god with the lower G is an idol, originally pertaining to a temple, a shrine, or a consecrated place. It goes into a zealous person. You even got furious. Alright, so that's a fanatic. Alright, and the same person. So, going back, it says that the motive of thugs was not much lust to plunder, as a certain religious fanaticism. The bodies of the victims were hidden in graves dug with a consecrated pickaxe. I would have to look even into this term, because I'm not familiar with this as well. So we'll look into it right now. We'll search with a Google search. Pickaxe, Slakia. Alright, that's what it is, a pickaxe. It says in their spoil, 1/3 was devoted to the goddess Kali, who they worship. I'm going to this Kali demon. You'll see this Elamite, the god of death. Yeah, this idol of death, that is. Yeah. Let me see, I put it. So you see some of the images of the Kali demon right here. That mouth, that tongue out and all that. Got heads of men cut off, bodies on the floor and the ground, such. So you see it. So this is the spirit that these thugs got within them. Alright, you're gonna call yourself a thug. Alright, you're actually going and you're worshiping idolatry. Alright. Whether you don't know it or not, indirectly or directly. Okay, because the Lord never put on the children of Israel to be, or really I should say, the Lord commands us to be what? Sanctified unto him, and to never, of course, put any other gods before him. Okay? Now, continuing forward, it says the Doorstep acid attack, a mum targeted in a second horror assault by thugs who rammed her car with truck. One of the men put a scythe through the passenger window of Teresa's car, tried to cut her. And we know a scythe. When you see a scythe is like a grim reaper. You cut the grass with, for the most part. This is a pretty deadly tool here. Okay, a scythe. Okay. Which, oh man, that's deep in itself. Okay, so now going back to the article. It says a mum's scarred in with an acid attack, feared for her life when thugs in a pickup truck rammed her vehicle in another terrifying assault. So, this, as it reads on, it emerged that Teresa Townsley was targeted just months after she was attacked on the doorstep of her Edinburgh home. So this, of course, occurred back or in Scotland, Edinburgh. Okay, in which let me see if they have the actual damages. Yeah, they have the damages. You can see some of the pictures of the girl here, the bird here, that got basically destroyed. I mean, she's still alive at this time, but she got hit with acids. It's gonna go into. It's gonna explain more. It says violent Alexander Burke was last week jailed at Hamilton Sheriff Court for 3 years for assaulting Teresa, her partner and sister, in a row over a $13,000 car. Okay, pound sterling you got there. So I'm not sure what the background story of that, but that's what this whole thing was over. So we know that the people got spirits on them. As I'm going to explain with the precepts, the scriptures. It says a court appearance, it says, came exactly 1 year after a horrifying acid attack in Gracemont area of the capital. So it's like, it's crazy because you have this silly system which is set up by Esau Edom, the wicked. So as we know, Esau Edom is a so-called white man, alright? That race. They're the wicked of the earth, pursuant to the scriptures. You read in the Genesis, of course, about Esau, who came out red like a hairy garment. Though you must understand that not because everyone, some people, of course, may look like, without melanin, they're a clean leopard, like in that pigment, but their lineage actually go back to our people, being Israelites, because we, of course, were scattered, and we, of course, dealt with other nations, women, okay? Slovakia. So it says, what you mean, excuse me, it says, a man threw a substance at Teresa when she answered the door. She suffered serious burns on her face and her neck. So, as you can see in the images when I scroll down further, and a year on from the worst day of my life, Teresa, 38, said that today is still hard just to go of the house to look in the mirror. Yeah, because of beauty. And, women, of course, pride themselves into their beauty. Of course, now, looking like this. This is, of course, something that scarred her for life, literally. Okay. And it says here that I'm scared for my life. People are coming forward with information that could prevent someone else from suffering as I have. Teresa has moved away from Edinburgh. She has told the Hamilton Sheriff Court, who she and her partner James Wilson were attacked in Lancashire in May after a dispute over a vehicle. It says James needed more than 40 stitches after being hit in the head with a spade. I'm assuming this is a spade shovel. Teresa said she and her partner had gone to meet Alexander Burke, 48, in the you have it here, the Strathclyde Park, as he owed James $13,000, that is, for a Ford Transit truck. She told the court violence erupted when Burke and his son and other men arrived, and she fled away from the scene with her sister Mary Jean, but their vehicle was rammed repeatedly by a pickup at the nearby motorway junction. So you see the deal that's going on. Says Teresa said Burke's son on also Alexander, 28, let out of the battered car vehicle windows with a scythe. She wept as she told the jury he put the scythe through passenger window in sight window, and tried to cut me. It says he was saying, you're dead, or you're dead, you're dead. You thought we were all going to die. It says Bark Jr. smashed the rest of the Wendy's, or it ran back to the pickup. And Bark Jr. was jailed for 3 years after being found guilty of assaulting James Wilson to a severe injury and a permanent disfigurement. He has been convicted of assaulting Teresa and her sister and Mary Jean and covered in their vehicle. Bark Sr. was found guilty on the attack on his sisters, in jail for 2 years. So, you see the deal. Alright, that's what the scriptures is speaking of. Book of 2nd Esdras chapter 5 in the Apocrypha, part of reading the original King James Bible. Verse 1, it says, nevertheless, as the tokens, which that's the signs, Hana, or behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Now you have it where this time which you're in, you have it where it's literally, it's going to be taken with a great number. 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to get cut off and die by slaughter. According to the scriptures, and I believe that's either Zechariah 13:8, which speaks about 2/3, 2 parts shall be cut off and die. I will bring the third part through the fire, roughly paraphrasing. Yeah. Yeah, it says, I'm going to just read out my physical scriptures. Zechariah 13:8. It shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein. The 2 parts of the nation of Israel is going to get destroyed in America. But of course, the Lord is going to leave that remnant, which is the elect. Alright? Those that the Y, which is mark of exemption from the judgment. It says, and I will bring the third part through, that's the elect, the fire, literally do the fire, do the ICBM fire, the fire from the chariots that's going to destroy and obliterate America. Alright? And there's going to be different places across the world that's going to see this destruction, nuclear destruction. The only way to be saved is to receive salvation via, of course, the chariots of Israel, which will contain Yahweh Shai and the rest of the angels, the holy hosts. Reading on, it says, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name. Right, we know the names of the Lord is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my pillar. Right? So, continuing on, and you have the land is barren of faith. You know, it's mass disbelief here, you know, in this world. Okay, many people are just literally confused, and that's because the Lord never gave them this truth. The place, as you know, is under your gross darkness. It covered the people. Alright, it's because mainly the wicked have, came into rulership in the Edomites, and they of course have polluted the world with their philosophy, mainly polluting the children of Israel. Now, this is the book here of Proverbs chapter 29:16. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases. Right? Which, Slaki. Which we know that sin is a transgression of the law. Chata. It's a transgression of the Thawo Ra, the law, in Hebrew. When you had a Rashai, or the wicked, are multiplied. which, when they, of course, came into rulership, these Edomites, you have it, transgression. They had evils multiplied in the land. Okay, you'll read that also in the book of Maccabees. As the Greeks, and then later as the Romans. And this is the second leg, or the rebirth of the Roman Empire. It says, but the righteous shall see their fall. Socket, and we know we're going to see their fall because we're literally living in it. You know, the righteous, the hopefully elect, are literally seeing the fall of Esau, Edom, which we know we living in the end of the world because Esau is ruling. Where Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, in which we're going to have the kingdom and rulership rival on. Alright, the next scripture I'm going to get is, I believe it's the book of Ecclesiastes, or Cuss actually. Chapter 39 and 28. And also, must get, well, I'm going to have to use this because the blue letter ain't working at this time. Shall get the book of, this is going to be the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 3 and around 17. Alright, so Sakya, for all of this, this illness, it just came up on me and crept on me. So, Lord will, this comes up. Alright, there we go. So it says here, I'm going to start, this is, I'm going to start actually 14. It says, I know that whatsoever the Most High doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. Yeah, the word. It says, and the power doeth it, or the power doeth it, that men should fear before him. And when you see the different various judgments that's going out, you know, women getting burnt and scarred, and getting chased and rammed by cars, and then ultimately, you know, she's gonna be put to death. All right. You think that the Lord's gonna just leave that work unfinished? He's gonna put that girl to death, whether it be by the complications of that, or I mean, whatever way that the Lord sees fit. It says here that which has been is new, and that which is to be hath already been, which tells you that we've been here before. It says the power required that which is past. Right? It tells you in the scriptures that when you read this, I believe it's in it might be in second Address. maybe like the third or fifth. Let me see. There's a scripture that tell you about Sakya, and that's another good scripture too. After what's Sakya? Let me see if I can find it. My physical scriptures. Give me a wee moment. It's telling me fifth chapter in the spirit. Yeah, this is it. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14 and 35. It says, "For after Mawath or death shall Mashapatiyam come, or the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." Okay, and we understand that through precept upon precept, upon precept, that reincarnation, meaning back in the flesh, is scriptural. Right, because you receive your actual judgment is played out here on earth. That's how the Lord does things. Okay. So, yeah. So going back, it says, verse 16, and back in Ecclesiastes 3 and 16, it says, "And moreover, I saw under the sun." Right, which the earth is under the sun, the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. So wickedness is evidently there here, okay? And in the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in my heart, in my mind, the power most high shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is time there for every purpose and for every work. Right? So it's a time and place for everything, okay? As you read up, when you read up earlier in the actual chapter, where it tells you that it's a time for everything everything. There's a season and a time, purpose for everything, every purpose under the Shemaim or heaven. And it tells you that it's a time to heal, and it's a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. All right. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So you see it, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. So there's balance even in time with the Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, nothing is left unbalanced. The Lord is known to, of course, his judgment that he executeth, So going on, it says, verse 18, it says, "I said in my heart concerning the states of the sons of men, that the power might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts." Alright, so, hell yeah, that already speaks for itself. Man. Alright, so, now, I'm gonna go to this other precept and pretty much close out. And this is the last precept. This is going to be the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, and it was 28, I believe. And also, there's that other scripture I seen in Ecclesiasticus, the 30th chapter, which I may find. So it says here, that there be spirits, rachayim, which is spirits in Hebrew, that are created for vengeance. Okay, which when you go into that word for, let me see, for vengeance, we'll get that definition. Punishment afflicted or nashim in the Hebrew. Inflicted or retribution is acted for injury or wrong. Yeah, for wickedness and evil, for transgression of the law. Okay? So the Lord have created different spirits that are for what? Vengeance. Okay? For injuries and wrongs. Sin. Chatayim. Which in their fury lay sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Okay, going into that word for appeasement, it pacifies, okay, someone. It relieves or satisfies a demand or a feeling, okay. You know, it's gonna make me happy to see, of course, that judgment, okay, that Lord actually exacts upon his enemies. He's happy, of course, to do it dead to the wicked. Alright, whether it's wicked women, wicked men, wicked children, wicked old bats, old bottles. Okay. The Lord, he's no respecter of persons. Alright. So, and I'm going to leave now with this other scripture, which I had seen in the spirit, which is Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. And should be, then, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and 17. It says, Moath or death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. So it's better for this bird to die than to, have a bitter life or continuous sickness. It's definitely a bitter life, to look like literally a molten person, right? As this woman looks like, and this is just some of the different images. This is just one image. I can look up other images of her on other sites, which just show you. Let me see. I'll go and show you. Look at this bird's face. It's destroyed. Let me see. Hold up. It's gonna probably say something about the ad blocker. Let's see. That batters. Yeah, look at that. That's the Aisha. Done. Finished. The mum. So yeah, it's better. It's better to just die, man. Death is better than a bitter life and continuous sickness. Alright. So, with that, hopefully you're edified. And till the next time, I say shalom to the elect. Wa abad babal. Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Wa shalach rayam. Mawath. Which I'm putting curses, of course, up. Of course, I said, Yahweh Shem Yahushai shalach rayam, which that means to send evil. La babal, which is bad times, to Babal, which is Babylon, which is America, will call Ratazah, alright, to all the land, Shaw, Rashayim of the wicked, wa Abad, Ayabium Nawa, our enemies, wa, which I said, to, it's like, I done lost my train of thought, but just through the spirit, the Lord to, of course, to punish our enemies. Wa haragim, kill our enemies. Wa bawa'ah, bring or come. Mashapatiyam, judgment. La thumb to them. Yam Aitha, Yam Aitha, Yam Aitha, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash, the water Tuab Aman. Alright, so I said right now. Alright. Name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash. Alright, shalom to the elect.